Hey friends, you got Renee Rivera here at Mold Mending. Happy holidays. Let's chat about prepping our meals. So, I've got a chronic illness called mold illness, and with that comes along a chronic fatigue. And some of you, I bet you have this as well, this chronic fatigue where you're just exhausted, you're tired. Some of you might have an autoimmune disease, Hashimoto's. You might have, dealing with something even more serious than we are. And holiday meal prep can be hairy and no fun for those of us that lack energy. So I wanted to come on here and just share with you, remind you, those of you that are seasoned with your illness, you know what a meal would take to prepare it, and you know what can zap your energy quick. But for those who are new to this illness game, I want to throw some caution at you, is not overcommit with meal making and hosting and all the things that you typically did for the holiday. I'm just saying this because for Thanksgiving, there's a lot of work that goes into making a meal. At least here in America, people seem to scurry and go get their groceries, and they're buying all sorts of things. You know, the stuffing, the potatoes, and they're peeling potatoes. They're making a turkey, or they're putting it outside in the smoker. So they're smoking their hams. It's a big deal, at least where I'm at, to make this big meal that lasts only a short amount of time, and then there's a bunch of cleanup afterwards. But for those of us with chronic illness and autoimmune disease, just the getting to that meal, putting it out on that table, that has sucked so much energy out of us. So I'm just here to give you that warning of plan ahead, people, and don't commit. If your body can't handle it, don't commit to doing it. Consider delegating. Consider, what can your body do? And so thoughts that I could throw at you is, if you're going to be the one to be even bringing a side dish somewhere, not even the whole meal, think ahead about when you're shopping. When you shop, when you're done, plan time to take that rest, because even going to the grocery store can be exhausting for us. It's mentally depleting. It is overstimulating for many of us in our brains as well, and it just sucks us dry energy. So plan that rest. And then the prep time, plan that to be separate from when you're grocery shopping, maybe a separate day. And maybe the different things you're prepping and peeling and cutting and all of that, maybe those things can be cut ahead of time, frozen or refrigerated, and then the meal prepped at a separate time after that. And after you're prepping your meal, remember, put in that nap. And then when you're cooking the meal, consider that as well. What's it going to take you, honestly, to do that whole meal, and to be paying attention to it, to be standing on your feet? I'm serious. What is it going to take of your body to do all those things? You really want to think about that. You're not required to be Superman. You're not required to be Superwoman. You're not required to make that magnificent meal. Have that communication with the people that you love, those friends and family that may have expected that in the past, and that's something you always did in the past. You were this elaborate host, or you were the one that always hosted the meal for the family. Think outside of the box and see if someone else can host. See if someone else can make that turkey and get up at the crack of dawn instead of you. Who can come and do the setup and the tear down, or who can come and do the dishes? It's a lot of work to plan a big meal like a Thanksgiving meal typically is. And I just want to give you permission to do the steps that are necessary to bring the reins back, to care for yourself, to do the rest. If you decide to participate in pieces of it, definitely get that rest before and after. Work out of your rest instead of wearing yourself out to need to rest. Another little thing I've been learning. And then enjoy that holiday. You're more important than that meal. You are more important than that cranberry sauce. You are more important than that famous recipe turkey or meat that you typically do. There's only one you, and we'd rather have you. I'm rooting for you. Remember, we can be well even while ill.